Well, Micky, just first of all, squad news for the weekend. I know you're without Jordan Turnbull, but how else are you looking?
Well, Paul Lewis will come back in now. He's trained all this week since the birth of his little girl Penny, so he comes back into the group again. Elliot Nevitt has had an injection in his toe, so never trained today. So we'll see how that is. And apart from that, everybody's fit apart from the long-term guys.
And Jordan will be a big miss for you because he's done well for you. 3 games, I think, isn't it? So, but he and Donnell have done particularly well for you.
Yeah, very well. Good partnership. But Tom's a good player, and the importance of getting him fit is now come to fruition. So we're pleased that he's fit and he's ready to step in. So we expect seamlessly Tom will come in and do the things that we need to do.
Lots of positives from last week. I know you would love to have won the game, and you possibly could have won the game, but a 1-1 draw away at Swindon, looking at the table, represents a decent result.
Yeah, I mean, we're Tranmere and we want to win every game. I think I want to say that first and foremost. We never went there for a draw, and we want to try and win every game. We knew it was a difficult game, and then at the end of it, on the balance of play, I think we had the better chances. But I think it was always a difficult place to go, and you have to accept that. But the players showed a lot of great qualities and a lot of good performances right through the group, both as individuals and as a group. And like I always say, there's stuff that we want to work on and get better at. And of course there is, but it's certainly another good performance on the road for us, and we will hopefully be able to build on that on Saturday.
And how do you assess where you are at the moment? There's such a long way to go. I suppose the thing at the moment is to just stay in the mix, stay in and around that playoff zone at least.
I think I have to be careful what I say, because I don't want to sound not ambitious. But what I knew at the start of the season was it was going to be a different type of job. What I knew when I come back for the 2 years, but we're talking about this season, it was going to be a different type of job. We're going to have a lot of younger players, a lot of players with less experience. So I sort of was going to go into it and see how quickly we could make them grow and where it would end up, because we have to cut our cloth accordingly, as I keep on saying, because I have to keep reminding everybody that, so that we don't get carried away thinking that we can do things any differently to how we're doing them. So where we are, I always want to be competing at the top end of the division. But even I have to be patient at times and understand that it's a young group, a growing group, and I believe where we're at is we're getting better all the time, and we are showing signs certainly against the teams that have invested very, very heavily in their teams. Some of them they've invested very well. I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying that where we think we are, certainly some of the teams, a lot of the teams that come up against them have invested very, very heavily in what they believe is ready-made players. I think our players, like Bristol and all these guys, and even like Coglis on his second season, and Big D and O'Connor, young Meza, all these guys, Elliot Nevitt, they're certainly holding their own, and we're coming away from the games now and thinking we could have and maybe should have won that game. So I would say that's where we're at. If they find a consistency that, I think as long as everybody understands that and are fair with their assessments of us and doesn't get carried away, I think that the club will be fine, we'll be okay, we'll be in a good place, because is where it is. And I know we'll get frustrated about things at times because we want to win every game, and so do I, but really you've got to take a step back sometimes and say that's where we're at. That's what we said at the start of the season. Look at the games that we've played in. Some we could have done better, some we've done very well and not got results in, but we're still going to go and try and win every game and keep trying to improve and try and be in the fight right until the end, and to try and get out the division.
And that's what you'll want to do on Saturday. You've got Wimbledon coming, a team who are just a little bit below you in the table, but not by much, and they've had a few decent results recently. What kind of challenges is that going to be?
Yeah, I think like those, they they've done well with a very young group as well. That's the way that they wanted to do things. I don't think that they bring players over a certain age. I think that that's what they do. They might have maybe changed that a wee bit, but that was their plan, was to do that. So they'll have a lot of energy and a lot of ambition in their group. So it should make for a really good game. They'll come up here to enjoy it, to try and get a result. Everybody enjoys the pitch and everything at Tranmere, so we get that. So we'll look forward to the game. We'll be ready for the good week's preparation. We want to grow from last week's performance, and what I mean grow is come out of it and improve in certain parts of our game. But that's what we've always tried to do. So it should be a really good game. We're looking forward to it.
So you'll want to take advantage of the fact that it's at home, but it's one of those things that we often say, you've got this home game and then you've got 3 away games in all competitions. And it's just not that simple, is it? Because you're quite capable of getting results away from home, and the home games can be as tough as the away games.
Yeah, we've done okay in the away games recently. We've picked up points and won a few of them. I don't know what the exact record is, apart from the FA Cup. I don't think we've lost an away game for a wee while now. I don't know what the exact record is. But we've drawn a few at home and a few frustrating games, and a really tight game against Stockport. But like I say, we attack every game and try and win it. And if we do the things that we're capable of very well, then we should give ourselves a good chance of getting a result. So Saturday will be no different. But like you say, don't seem to have been playing home quite as much as we'd like to when we're going into 3 away games, but we're just going to attack it. It is what it is. I
know Scotland aren't there, Micky, but what about the World Cup? Are you going to get a chance to watch it? Because for the Premier League clubs, they've come to a break, but you guys carry on. Is it going to be weird with the World Cup going on as well?
I think that some of the way some of the kick-offs are, I think that we would sort of not be unprofessional, but around about it, maybe train maybe some different times or whatever, in order to try and see the games. I've got a family that are all pretty much born in England, so they'll be very interested in seeing how England are performing, and so will I. So no, I'm looking forward to it. It's a World Cup, and it is everything, isn't it? So we're looking forward to that, and we're really looking forward to a spectacle and seeing the best players on the planet going and operating.